NBA Showtime is genuinely one of the best games of all time. But to really understand this game's greatness, you have to look back to the series' beginnings. It all started with NBA Jam, originally in arcades in 1993, and it then continued on into Tournament Edition, then eventually NBA Hangtime, and then NBA Showtime. The first thing noticed is just how much the NBA on NBC license is used. It's all over the menus. All of the music is there, there's the same scoreboard, there's an NBC court, and hell, it's in the title of the game. Of course, this game is technically based upon the TV show of that era with the same name, but I don't think anyone really remembers that. At this point, I don't even want to play video games anymore, I just want to go watch some NBA Showtime! Apparently NBA Showtime hasn't been running for like 10 years. If you'd like to go back and re-experience some of that NBA on NBC fun again, you can play NBA Showtime. What makes this great is not the presentation, but actually the gameplay. If you've played any of its predecessors, you know exactly what to expect. It's 2-on-2, and it's completely unrealistic. The basic gameplay is taken directly from the previous NBA Jam and NBA Hangtime games. 3 buttons are used, one to shoot, one to pass, and one to use turbo. Turbo, when used in conjunction with other buttons, can lead to different results, such as shoving on defense and more accurate shots on offense. This simple gameplay is the best, because it skips the entire mastery part of easy to learn, tough to master, making it just incredibly easy for new players to be just as good as a relatively experienced player. This makes it very fun for anybody to come and pick up and play. Now, the obvious draw in the game is the huge dunks, but the biggest addition from previous games is the crossover dribble, achieved by tapping the turbo button twice. Using the crossover allows players to get open for shots and get past defenders without having the ball stolen. This is a relatively simple addition to the NBA Jam formula that helps expand the gameplay while not overcomplicating it. Of course, the other obvious great thing about using the NBA is the inclusion of its players. And this is great because while the original NBA Jam was released during the early 1990s, one of professional basketball's real heydays, Showtime came out in the late 90s when most of those dominant players from the original, Barkley, Pippen, Ewing, were still playing, but in the latter half of their careers, as well as a new generation of stars like Steve Nash, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, and of course Kobe Bryant were coming into the limelight. Honestly, this game is just great. I'd rather play this than nearly any other basketball game ever released. I'd say this is probably the best sports game on the Dreamcast console, but it's also available on the Nintendo 64 and PlayStation, and it also started in the arcades. I encourage everyone to go out and purchase this, as it provides some great fun.